All right, so this is Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 4.
Okay.
This is the call to Abraham. The Lord has said to Abraham, "Leave your native country, your relatives, and your father's family, and go to the land that I will show you. I will make you into great nations. I will bless you and make you famous, and you will be blessings to others. I will bless those who bless you and curse those who treat you with contempt. All the families on earth will be blessed through you." Abraham departed as the Lord had instructed, and Lot went with him. Abraham was 75 years old when he left Haran, words be crazy. Haran, I think that's the word I couldn't pronounce in church yesterday. But Haran, yes.
Okay.
So letting go of control, just like Abraham, God came to him and instructed him to leave everything and go to another land. Abraham didn't know the outcome. He didn't know what was going to happen, right? And sometimes God comes to us and tells us to move, and sometimes we don't move because we are afraid of the outcome, we don't want someone to look at us differently, or we doubting ourselves. But one thing we have to see and understand is Abraham obeyed God's instructions, even when he didn't even know the outcome. He didn't know what was going to happen during his journey, but one thing he did do was have faith, and he trusted and he believed in the Lord. He's 75 years old, and God is telling him to pack up every single thing that you have and move to a whole nother land that he has no idea about, and God comes to us, God has given us assignments to complete, and we are afraid to complete those assignments because we don't know the outcome, right? We're so busy, being in our comfort zone, staying stuck in our comfort zone, right? We are comfortable in our comfort zone because we know the outcome. We know what to expect when we're in our comfort zone. But as soon as God tells us to step out our comfort zone, it's a whole doubt, or it's a question, I don't want it, But at times we pray and we ask God, give us signs. And, God, I promise you, like the pastor said the other day, we said, we promise we won't do this if you do that, you know what I'm saying? But as soon as he blessed, we dip out. We forget about him, and those are the reasons why we continue to stay in our comfort zone, because we don't truly trust and believe in God. And we got to, be like Abraham at times, you know what I'm saying, and have that trust and believe, and know that he's directing our path, and know that he has a plan for us, even when we don't think he has a plan, even when we think that he has left us and forgotten about us, he's still working through us, through our struggles, through our challenges, right? But one thing we have to do, we have to continue to stay strong and rooted in our prayers and scriptures, so when the enemy do come and try us, we are prepared and we are ready for him, and we are not allowing him to stop us or hinder us from our God-given assignment. Our assignment is very important in life. The other day I was on live and I was talking about, when we be in school and we missed that one day of school and we so behind. Now we got to play catch up because we decided to skip. We decided to do what we want to do, whatever it is that we decided to do. And instead of being in school, now we were late. Now we late. Now we got to play catch up on these assignments. Now we got to ask somebody for their notes and this and that. That's the same thing with God. God has given us all these assignments, and we didn't skip. We didn't did what we want to do. We didn't did this. We didn't did that.
Yeah,
now,
I feel like, yes.
You know what I'm saying? We at this point where we got to play catch up. God didn't gave us these assignments already, but instead of us being rooted in, staying focused on that assignment, we decided to allow these other distractions to come in and stop us from that assignment. So now we sitting here playing catch up.
Yeah.
So now we sitting here playing catch up. So now we got to work 3 times harder. And that means we got to be more into the Bible than anything.
That's what it is. I'm like.
So, we got to be like, what I'm saying, when God tell us to move, we gotta move.
Be ready.
We gotta be ready.
Be ready.
You know, God come to me and
ready.
assignment that complete this, and I be like, God, I just finished this. God, I just finished this book.
Yeah.
God, I'm barely preparing for this conference or preparing for this or that. And he's like, you already prepared. What are you preparing for? I done already prepared you. What are you still being prepared for? What is the problem? Why do you continue to use getting prepared as an excuse? And that's what we do. I gotta be prepared. I gotta wait for this perfect time. I gotta wait to have this much money. I gotta wait to be in this type of house. I gotta wait to have this car. I gotta wait to do this and this, and not realizing these are the excuses that are stopping us from even starting. God is just saying, hey, it's already there. I just need you to start. I just need you to go. And we continue to say, I'm not prepared.
Yeah.
I'm not this. I'm not that. And it's like, hey, it's there. When I was 15 and was taken away, I started using writing as a way to escape, as a way to express my emotions. Right then and there, I didn't know that was going to turn into a book. I didn't know that was going to be somebody's inspiration or encouragement to move or anything. I didn't know that at the time. I'm trying to heal. At the time, I'm trying to stay focused, and continuing to be distracted by the different things and not knowing what God was doing to me right then and there.
Yeah.
So as I get older, I'm writing. So when 2020 comes and God tell me to write that book, I'm like, I ain't prepared. I ain't got the money. I ain't got this. I ain't got that. And he's like, you prepared. But I didn't believe it. So one day I'm cleaning up. All of a sudden I find all these flowers that I had accumulated all these years. And God was like, see, I've been preparing you.
Yeah.
You prepared.
Wow.
See, all that time you did all this writing, all this time you did this and did that. I was preparing you in your struggles and your challenge when you thought that I left you. When you thought that I wasn't there for you, I was preparing you for this moment right here. I was getting you ready for this moment.
Yeah.
And see, a lot of us don't see that God is preparing us through these struggles, through our challenges. We don't see that he's getting us ready for the assignments that he has planned for us. We just refusing to allow him to step in and lead. And we got to step out of our own way and allow him to come in and lead our path so we can move, so we can complete our assignment, so we can feel that freedom and peace that he has promised us all these times. And realize and know that our assignment is just not for us. It's for someone else too. It's someone else's breakthrough. It's someone else's key to the change that are holding them and bounding them from moving forward in life. So we have to move forward. We cannot allow these things to stop us. We have to have that strength to let go of the things that are hindering us. We have to let it go. We have to step out of our comfort zone. We have to do it when we are afraid. And know that God is by our side no matter what. And he hasn't left us. He's already preparing us. If he's telling you to do something, there's a reason behind it. Why stop your blessings? That's what you're doing. That's what we're doing when we are not completing our assignments. We're blocking our own blessings. And then we get mad when we see somebody else going to the next level. When we see somebody else moving forward, we mad and upset and we wondering why we still stuck in the same situation or in the same spot that we are in. And that's because we are so focused on what they're doing and how they're moving instead of being focused on our assignment and how God is telling us to move. So we have to stop that. We have to focus on ourselves.
Yes.
We can't focus on everybody else and what they're doing. And we cannot allow them to come in and stop our focus or distract our focus. Just like I was on the phone with my sister. I don't care if it's your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your uncle, your nieces, your nephews, your best friend for 40 years, whoever it is. If they're not feeding into you, they shouldn't be sitting at your table. What are they doing for you? If they're not feeding to you mentally, socially, emotionally, physically, financially, psychologically, why are they sitting at your table? If they're not saying, hey, Sumatra, how we going to do this? Hey, Sumatra, let's plan to do this. Hey, Sumatra, I can help you do this. Hey, Sumatra, I see you struggling. Let's come up with a plan or a solution on how we can get you out of it. If they're not doing that for you, why are they at your table?
Oh, that's a good one.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
If you're not feeding it to somebody else, and you're not trying to help them grow, why are you sitting at your day table? Respectfully move yourself and say, hey, right now it's not the time. Right now I'm not right for you. I'm trying to get myself together. Once I can get myself together and build that relationship with God, and He tell me it's time for me to come back and sit at your table, then that's when I come back to your table. But until then, let me focus on me. Same thing with the person sitting at your table. Hey, right now, you're not for me. I have to separate myself from you. Let me get myself right with God. Let me try to, you know what I'm saying, get everything built up where I can be able to help you and help me at the same time. But right now, I can't even help myself, so I sure can't help you. And right now, obviously, you can't help yourself, so you sure can't help me.
Yeah.
So we have to separate ourselves respectfully. I love you, but right now, I got to love you from that distance.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get right with God. I'm trying to build that relationship with God. And right now, our relationship with each other is not helping now one of us get to God. And that's what we have to do. But again, a lot of us are afraid because it's, oh, they know this about me. They might say I'm changing. They might say I'm acting different. What they say about Jesus.
Yeah.
You think that stopped him from dying on the cross for our sins? You think he came up with the excuses before he died? Oh, I got to be prepared. I ain't prepared yet, Lord, to die.
Yeah.
I ain't this.
Right.
I still got to do X, Y, and Z. No, he didn't.
For real. And I'm glad I do have that mindset, though.